Welcome to From the Driver's Seat, the Averitt podcast for all Averitt drivers to keep up with news and information across our network. Make sure to subscribe on your preferred podcasting app to make sure you're notified as soon as every episode drops. And now, hosting from the driver's seat, Director of Driver Services, David Broyles.
Hey everybody, it's Dave Broyles with From the Driver's Seat podcast. And, I talked about this a little bit on the last podcast, but, the technology and things that we've moved forward with doing podcasts and we used to just do audio, now we do video. It's crazy how much the technology's improved and we've gotten so much better at doing this. And now we're obviously doing other people are doing podcasts besides me, and that's a great thing because we're able to get more out, more information for you. Amos Rogan has a Winner Circle podcast that he puts out. It's a lot about Averitt culture and things. It's really some great podcasts. There's some other stuff on there with Alice talking about things about culture. When you get the opportunity, go to Inside Averitt and take a look at all the media in there that's in there. It's all for you. And there's a lot of good media. So take advantage of that. Listen to it. I think you'll enjoy it. You can go down the road and listen to it. So there's a lot of opportunities there. You don't necessarily have to do the video and watch us all the time, but you can just listen to us at least. So take a chance at that. We got some great guests today, though. I think everybody will enjoy what we got going. I got Tom. How you doing?
Good. Good morning.
Good to see you, Tom. And Tom, give us a little bit of background about you.
I came to Averitt in December of 19. I took a few months off for the pandemic, and then I came back in May. And I've been in Truckload ever since.
Well, good. So you've been in Truckload since about 2019 then?
Yes.
Is that the key? Okay, good. Well, you've been driving longer than that, right?
Yeah, I started driving when I got out of the Army in 1985. So I came to Averitt like bottom of the eighth as far as my career goes.
Yeah. How many years were you in the Army?
2.5.
2.5 years?
I went in as a field artillery missile crew member and tried to change MOS to supply, but they told me that you're going to go to Germany to be a missile sergeant. I said, no, thanks. I'll go home and drive truck. Because at that time, they were protesting a lot in Germany over the missile sites.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to get involved in that, and I wanted to see the country.
Well, we're glad to have you at Averitt, obviously, so
Good
we
to be
appreciate
here.
that. Shannon, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you, David?
I'm doing great. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Shannon, and how long you've been with Averitt.
Oh, okay. I've been with Averitt. It'll be 3 years in about 2 weeks. So coming right up on that 3-year anniversary.
Well, congratulations.
Absolutely.
So you've been a fleet manager ever since you've been with Averitt,
I was hired
right?
on as a fleet manager.
So 3 years ago, you signed on as a fleet manager.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I know I've talked to a lot of your drivers. I've traveled with you a time or two, but I've talked to a lot of your drivers. I know your drivers appreciate you. And just out of curiosity, what do you think is the single most important thing being a fleet manager?
I believe it's communication on both sides. Just allowing the open line of communication. Drivers call in, talk to me, tell me a little bit about themselves. I tell them a little bit about me, kind of be able to form that bond so that they trust you. So if there's an issue, a problem, or they need something from you, they feel comfortable reaching out and telling you what they need, as well as it allows them to be more successful. Because, opening up that line of communication, they can also call you and tell you if something needs to, hey, I know this customer. I've been here 3 or 4 or 5 times. I know that they're going to take me early. Can I go ahead and run this in early so I can get some more, running time this week and things like that. So it just kind of opens up, and allows us to work together as a team. So teamwork, communication.
Well, I think teamwork and communication, that's the key to everything, I think.
Absolutely.
It's not everything. Don't you agree with that, Tom?
Oh, absolutely. And Shannon, I've had some fleet managers, and she listens too, and she doesn't discount what you have to say.
Well, that's cool. So you feel the communication is good between you and Shannon? You think Shannon does a good job with that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because I've had many, many years and many, many fleet managers, and she's definitely top 5.
Really?
I'll take it.
You'll take that?
I'll take it.
Well,
Let me ask you this. I hear this a lot, so let me ask you this real fast. Shannon, you probably never driven a truck, have you?
Nope, never one time.
Truck.
I've sat in one just for one day during finishing school back in when I first started. My first week here, I got to sit. But other than that, I've never touched a truck, don't know anything about a truck.
And I find that interesting. I find that a lot. But a lot of times drivers think, hey, the best fleet managers are going to be ex-drivers. And that's not necessarily the case, I don't think. I think it comes down to who can communicate the best and build relationships. What do you think, Tom?
Yeah, I think that's true. The communication is important. And I had a fleet manager that was a former driver, and it was always, back when I used to drive, and I was like, well, we have different rules now, different equipment. It's not like it used to be in the 60s.
Yeah.
And so I'm out here today, and this is what we're doing today. So trust me, I think I know what I'm doing. And A lot of times they live.
That's right. You're right. I think as long as you all build that relationship together, and she understands the trucking as far as, hey, loads have to be delivered on time, where loads have to go, and all the rules. That's the main thing, and then work with you. You've got the experience on the road. That's what meshes together and makes it work, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm still learning after all these years. I'll admit to that, because like my dad says, the day you know everything's the day before they throw dirt on you.
That's about right, huh? I'll agree with that. Well, let me ask you, something else, Tom. I know, you were recently in an article that we did in Team Matters and talking about fuel efficiency, and when we look at what you've done with the truck, with the fuel efficiency, you're doing a great job, right? I mean, what is he one of the best on the fuel efficiency in your organization?
Yeah, since we've started tracking idle time, as we have that as a quarterly goal. We reach out to each driver, make sure every quarter that they know they get red thinking rewards if they're able to make that goal. And our goals are right around 8 to 10%. I think this quarter, because it's the summer, we're at 10% because we want to give them a little bit more leeway. But Tom has never not made that goal. Since we've started that goal, he has never not hit that goal. I've never had to call him and tell him, oh, you're not getting red thinking reward points this month or this quarter because you didn't make it. He's usually one of the best on my list and usually keeps it very, very low. So he does a really great job.
Is that one of the keys, Tom, as to why what is your average miles per gallon right now? What do you think you got?
Moving's 8.27 the last time.
8.27.
When Danny Crooks and I started this conversation a couple DAC meetings ago.
Uh-huh.
Because he was checking into it. He said, that seems a little high. Because I told him, I won the truck. Nobody's driven it but me. This is what I'm getting, 8.3 according to the dash. And he said, that seems a little high. Let me look into that. And then he came back and he said, these numbers are incredible. And he said, that's a real number for you. Moving idle time at 55%. And he was impressed. In fact, I got a red thinking reward bonus, and now I have a 55-inch TV.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Saving fuel pays.
Saving fuel pays, right?
That's right.
Well, that's really impressive. What else do you do? Maybe I can't just be idle time that's causing you to.
Well, I shut the truck off whenever possible. I use the cruise whenever it's safe, and all the time. It's beautiful in traffic. It keeps you in bumper-to-bumper traffic, like going through the gorge, for example.
Yeah.
It keeps you at a safe distance behind the cars. It slows you down as it slows. It picks you up as it picks up. And I come off of Mount Eagle the other day, 40,000. I set it for 30, and it held me at 35 all the way down the mountain. It cycles the gears, engine brake. The technology is amazing, but it's tough to trust it. The first time, I'll never forget, we're getting closer, and the next thing, we're 15 feet from the back of this car, and I got my foot by the brake. I'm like, all right, I'm going to give up on you here in a minute, computer. But no, it stopped me before, like 10 feet from behind the car.
Really?
So once you can get over that hurdle and trust the technology, it's amazing.
So you think that maybe the biggest key is trusting the technology?
Yeah, trust the technology. But don't get complacent or lazy either, because it might not be there.
Right.
You still have to stay alert and pay attention if you're getting too close.
What about speed? What do you think about speed? Do you drive it all the time at max, or do you back off? What do you do?
I set it at 64 and watch the world go by and enjoy my day. It still gets me there. I still get it done. I still make my deliveries on time. And then I got that extra mile an hour. If I happen to come up on a camper or something, I can goose it a little bit and get around them and get back to it. But it is so stress-free to just set the cruise for 64 and just ride.
Yeah, I find that a lot too. I think, probably, not driving a big truck, but like the other day, I was at Nashville for stuff. And of course, Nashville traffic's getting crazy in the afternoons anymore. Yes. But going just down the interstate between Cookeville and Nashville, the Interstate 40 seems like anymore. It's just crazy busy down through there. And so I just cut through Highway 70 and did what you said, drove a lot slower. But I cut the back road and went through Highway 70 and just relaxed a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. You ever do that? You ever drive slower
absolutely.
Just to relax?
Yeah, I'm not a big speeder. I personally don't use cruise control in my car very much. My husband thinks that I should use it more. He loves it. It's his favorite thing in the world to hit the cruise and and it's not trusting the technology as much as, this is going to sound like a real girl thing to say, but I don't really know how to use it that well. So I have a newer car and it's got so much technology. Sometimes I get a little lost in the translation of everything, but it's a safe car. So that's really all that matters. I know that you said a little something and I would like to touch on it.
Sure.
So I know that he had mentioned that the first time he was out, like the first time you were ever out, or the first time you ever used that cruise control situation, and you really kind of had that weird feeling of, oh my gosh, is it really gonna, I think that's a big hang up. I hear it from drivers. Like I hear about, oh, the technology is great, but it can't drive for me. I'm not gonna let that happen. Like I have to be in control. I think that it's really good to understand that the technology's come a long way. And that if you put your trust in it, you're going to find that it's going to help you. And drivers also a lot of times want to talk about the speed, like how fast, like you said, the speed, like do you kind of cruise? Right. I think if from drivers that I hear from, they want it to go faster. They want the trucks to go faster. I know you probably hear it all the time. I know you hear it all the time. I absolutely hear it all the time. But I really do think we base our loads when we're assigning them at about a 50 to 55 mile per hour range.
Right.
We're giving you the time built in to not have to go so fast. If you're trip planning and doing the things you need to do, you can be able to have that stress-free, set that cruise at, 64 and enjoy your ride on down the road. And you most likely, unless there's something that just pops up that's out of our control, you're going to make your loads on time and you're probably going to be a lot less stressed out because of it.
Yeah, I think the stress part is really interesting, Tom, talking about that. That's, I think it's not just the fuel efficiency, but it's the wear and tear on your head and your body and your thinking all the time. I think that's important, don't you?
Yes, absolutely, because if you get so wound up during the day with all the aggravation, then you're not going to get good rest at night because you're still wound up pretty tight. And it's a lot more, 85 is different than now. There was probably half the vehicles that there are now. So you have to shift your focus to that. That's what makes our technology so much nicer, is because it takes a little bit of the pressure off where we can manage it better. And speaking of managing, trip planning is a really big deal. If you know you're going through Atlanta at 3-4 o'clock, you stop an hour away. It lets you go through Atlanta later on in the evening when traffic has died down. You get less stress and better fuel efficiency.
Yeah, because you're not stopping and going, right?
That's absolutely.
You're actually just moving some, at least through Atlanta. If you're actually moving going through Atlanta, that's a plus, right?
That's a win right there.
I told my wife one night, I said, well, I went through Atlanta, honey, and I never touched the brake pedal. And she said, oh, good job.
Yeah, but that's really a good point. If you can plan that schedule around a city, like even Nashville, we're right in the middle of the day around Nashville. I had a doctor's appointment the other day and came out from downtown, and the traffic was just horrendous coming downtown, trying to get back on 40, coming off the main part up there. And if you could schedule around that would make a lot of difference, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
Well, 24, and I know Chattanooga's a problem for us right now. I'm going through a
construction, 24. Yes.
That's always a nightmare. But anytime you can plan for that stuff, you're right. I think sometimes people, I never really thought about it till you said that, but if you trip planned where you're not going to hit congestion, that will make a difference on your fuel plan, your fuel route, if you can make it then.
And also know before you go, you start off in the morning, you have your load plan, you're going to deliver here, then you're going to over there and drop and hook, and then you're going, and you got to think ahead, like, okay, where am I going to stay tonight? I'm going to stay at this service center. Well, there's not a service center near there. I mean, I'll stop early and go to this service center and then get up in the morning and finish it out.
Yeah.
A lot of that trip planning makes it so much nicer, easier.
That's nice. So are y'all on the tablet yet, or are y'all still using the...
Nope, I am on the short list, but we are not quite there yet.
There.
Nope.
Yeah, I think you'll find it interesting when you get on the tablets, being able to plan the system with what it has. The technology on the GPS and the trip planning is a little better, I think, because the quality's better. So that may even make it better for what you're trying to talk about doing. I think as you trip plan is a really important part of Truckload, I think, don't you?
Yes, absolutely. And you can't trust the GPS 100% either. I remember one time years ago, mine led me down the road, the same street name as my delivery, to a railroad tracks with no crossing, looking at the plant across the field where I needed to be. So I had to get a hold of law enforcement to help get them turned around and find out how to get over there. So you want to consult your hard. We have the Trucker's Atlas. You can get it through payroll deduction for many driver services. Folks have them.
Right. Yeah, we've carried those for years now. The Atlases at the driver services, and we sell them to everybody at cost. We buy a bunch of them and get them a little cheaper, and then we're able to pass on that savings to the drivers. So yeah, if anybody ever needs a map for anything like that, they're able to go to driver services and pick up an Atlas, a real trucking Atlas like you're talking about.
The nice ones.
I think we got the laminated,
yeah,
and
they're nice.
All that, and of course nowadays I'd have to have one with a big print. I don't know, it's just the lamination would work for me.
Don't we have Averitt magnifying glasses as part of the swag?
Maybe we need to, right? Maybe for us elder drivers,
for all of us,
that would be helper.
We need to have that magnifying.
All of us ninth inning guys.
You still got lots of years, Tom. You're not going to retire anytime soon.
I'm younger than you, so I have my sights set on your job.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Okay.
Honestly, you take my job one day, right?
I don't think I want it. You work too hard.
I enjoy my job. I really do. I think it's a great job. And I know, Shannon, I know you enjoy your job too as fleet manager,
very much. I really, really enjoy my job. I was talking to somebody. I was actually talking to one of the night dispatchers, one of the night fleet managers. They came to start sitting with us kind of just to get a little bit of an understanding about what, we do during the day. And we went and sat with them a little bit to see what they're dealing with at night. So just kind of building that relationship, having that communication. So she asked me, she's like, when I was doing my job, I'm doing my job in front of her, we're working together, she's looking over my shoulder. And the night dispatcher said, "This seems like a really stressful job." And I said, "This is the least stressful thing in my entire life." I've got 5 kids, I've got a husband, dogs, cats, everybody's doing stuff. This literally, I come to my job to get away from the stress, not to be a part of it. So she thought that was really interesting. But yeah, I absolutely love it. I really do.
It always shows, I guess, when you're happy with your job. Tom, so you've been in Truckload since 2019, right?
Yes.
And what do you like about Truckload? Why have you stayed in Truckload? What's the draw?
Well, in no particular order, benefits are amazing. I knew I was coming to Averitt. I was an owner-operator with Landstar, and I met a couple of OTL guys out in Utah and had a chat with them and learned about Averitt and the culture. And I thought to myself, if I ever go back to driving a company truck, that's where it's going to be. Long story short, here I am.
Here you are. Did you come to Averitt from being an owner-operator?
Yes.
I can't imagine, you're talking about stress, I can't imagine the stress of being an owner-operator, I guess, because then you're operating your own business out of your truck and you're doing it every day and you're doing it every waking moment. You're operating and trying to figure out how to make money. Is that right?
Yeah, you wear all the hats, the fuel manager, the maintenance manager, the dispatcher, the driver, you wear all those hats.
It's just amazing to me, you got to figure out how to make a profit. You got to say, hey, am I going to take this load? And if I take this load, where am I going to go? But if this load makes more money, it doesn't go where I want to go, but I can make more money. So then you got to make that decision, which load you're going to take, right?
One of the things I learned in orientation from an old timer was he said, don't worry about cents per mile. He says, think of it in terms bigger, dollars per day. Come up with your number and then go and haul the loads and enjoy yourself, because that's the only way you're going to not kill yourself.
And we have the same philosophy. We try to not think about cents per mile. We talk about, we even got a flyer out that says it's more than cents per mile. Because what we do with our pay, a lot of different things go into your pay. So it's not, your cents per mile is part of it, but there's a lot of components in there, and that's kind of what you're talking about. But Averitt manages all that, right?
Yeah, that's what makes it nice.
You don't have to manage it, right?
I go home and they're thinking about it while I'm resting. I don't have to be thinking about it. Because, we got to be well over $1 a mile if you factor everything in, free clothes, benefits, vacation, everything. It's a lot more than the cents per mile. That is so true.
So you like the Truckload, though, the Truckload part of it? You enjoy
the Truckload.
Enjoy working with Shannon, I guess. Is that part of it?
What I like about Truckload is it's a true Monday to Friday. I mean, since I've been here, 3 times I've had to sleep in the truck Friday night, literally. So you leave early Monday morning and you make your delivery, and they have something going on to keep you moving throughout the week. You got all the service centers. You know you're going to have a nice place to park, a hot shower, and so on, clothes, washers, and dryers. And
well, we try. I think that's a tribute to Gary and the executive team at Averitt Express. They spend the money to build those locations. Those convenience centers, the driver convenience centers, where we're at, and they're really nice. It's around 2,000 square feet. It's got everything in it, right? So it's nice for drivers to be able to come do what you just said. For instance, they can stop somewhere. They got everything they need, all the convenience centers right there, and a shower, right?
And the brand new one here in Cookeville,
Yeah.
which I never get to go to because I'm home. I can't explain to my wife, honey, I'm going to sit in this big, beautiful leather recliner and do my laundry. And she said, no, you need to come home.
Well, you might punish you one day, and you might need to come over there and take a shower.
That's true. I don't have to worry about being homeless.
Yeah, that's right. You've got a place you can go stay. Well, good. Well, hey, I appreciate y'all coming in, and congratulations, Tom, on doing that great job with the fuel mileage. I think it's an interesting story to hear about how you do it. The slower truck, I guess. Don't worry about the 65. Of course, Rick Tetrall, he's not going to be happy when he hears you talk about that. You're just talking about who I hear. I always hear, hey, more speed. Of course, Rick's right up here on the front of it all the time. So I know Rick real well. So you'll be able to go back and tell Rick, say, Rick, I talked about going slower, not faster, a little bit.
Yeah,
and but it does make a difference on your. It does make a difference, right?
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing was. My takeaway from that was, hey, all the combination of the things you do, the idle time, turning off the truck, trip planning, everything goes into what the fuel is. But I think the other side of the coin is if you just sit back and take it as it comes, I think your stress level, like you said, I think it's good for everybody's health. I mean, people don't look at it like that, but it is more relaxing if you're not pushing all the time and seeing stuff. So it's a big enough job already. Driving 80,000 pounds, going down the road doing 65, you got a lot of pressure already. You don't need any added pressure, right?
Yeah, and Averitt helps too in this equation by giving us the top-notch equipment. I mean, we couldn't have done this 10, 15 years ago with the manual transmissions and no APUs and what it was like being out there. You couldn't achieve these numbers back then, and you'd be tired from shifting all day long in heavy traffic.
Yeah,
I haven't had my first two trucks they were old Averitt trucks I bought from a dealer in Western Tennessee. So I've been in Averitt equipment since 2014, technically.
That's pretty good. Well, good. Well, what do you think? Any last words, Shannon, for the drivers?
I think if you take anything away from the podcast today, I think that listening to Tom, and it's not just because he's my driver, but it's because he really does a great job, and just, kind of make sure you're using that APU. Please use your APU. And if you have a problem with your APU, let the fleet manager know. Just call us. We'll make a shop plan. We'll figure out what's going on with it. We have new equipment. We want to use it and make sure it's running correctly. And I think a lot of times drivers will not tell you that they have an issue with their truck because they don't want to stop that truck and not get the miles. So their worry is, I'm not going to say anything. I'll just idle. It'll be fine. But it's cutting into our profit sharing, as Tom always likes to remind everybody. Profits into that profit sharing, but also, let's get the truck running at top notch. So reach out to your fleet manager if you have an APU problem, and just remember that we're here. Fleet managers are here to help you. If you have questions, concerns about how your truck's running or your load planning or your routes or how to do better, call us. I feel like we're always there to try to help, at least from my standpoint. We're always there to try to help. That's what we're here for.
Well, thank you, Shannon. And I know you do a great job. I get great compliments from the drivers when I'm out there talking to them. So appreciate everything you do for us. So great job.
Thank you.
Great job taking care of the drivers.
Awesome.
I think they appreciate that. Tom, any last words for everybody out there?
Yeah, one thing off the topic is dropping trailers. We get a handful of new guys. They're coming to us when equipment wasn't as top-notch as ours.
Yeah.
They don't know how to dump the suspensions and drop them right. So that's, it's best for the next guy. You drop a loaded trailer, the pads are almost touching. You drop an empty trailer with an inch or two of daylight, ease forward, deflate the bags, and then drive out. That's a key because especially now, it's really hot out there, cranking down a high trailer and low gear because they didn't drop it right because nobody maybe ever told them that's a possibility.
We need to get together. Well, I think we'll probably get together and do a little video on that, talk about dropping a loaded and emptying trailer. So we'll get together. I might reach out and we'll put you on video with that, doing that over there one day.
Oh, it sounds like fun.
Awesome.
All right.
Because around here, these come with meals too, right?
That's right.
The meetings.
That's right.
A video and a cookie at least.
That's right. Well, again, we appreciate you, Tom. We appreciate what you do.
Thanks.
You do a great job. I know you're a member of the Driver Advisory Council. Appreciate what you're doing with the fuel efficiency. All that contributes to our profit sharing, which is really important. So we appreciate what you do on that.
Like I said to the interviewer for that article, I always drive it like it's mine because I need it to get me home on the weekends too.
That's right. Well, we appreciate y'all. Thank you
Thanks.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And out on the road, we appreciate everybody and we appreciate what all y'all do. And I think today's podcast was really good. I think, we talked about fuel efficiency and how it affects our profit sharing, because fuel is a big contributor on cost. So it's really important that you take advantage of that and listen to what Tom said. Implement some of it, implement all of it, but get your fuel up there just a little bit better to make it better. And that's the goal. We want to be able to make more money because we want to grow. And as we grow, we need you to help us. We need to help people like you. So if you see a driver out there and you say, wow, that driver would look great in an Averitt uniform, let's go out there. Let's talk to that driver. Let's put them in an Averitt uniform. Help us out there. Help us get people like you. Appreciate all you do. Thank you so much. We'll see you out on the road. Thank you.